Hello and welcome to this month's edition of YouTube Composer of the Month. This month's composer for March 2010 is going to be Eddie Mora, the Costa Rican composer who's really amazing. Eddie Mora is my pick for the first YouTube Composer of the Month, and he really does deserve it. He's an example of a composer who is doing everything right. He's got a great website, he's posted some really extraordinary and beautiful compositions on his YouTube channel, and he seems to be getting commissions and getting work and promoting his own music and performing it and getting it recorded. All of those steps that can be so difficult for even a composer who is established, not to mention a beginning composer. Eddie's not just a great composer, he's also an experienced musician, he's a great violin player, also quite a capable conductor. His YouTube channel has got some clips of him conducting his own works and other works, and he really does have a great touch with the orchestra. Over at his website you can download his scores, you can take a look at his biography, I think you can even listen to some audio clips. But of course, since this is a YouTube Composer of the Month, he's got his music up there on YouTube, which, as you're going to hear me say many times over the course of my online series, is a very important thing for a composer nowadays. Let's take a close look at one of Eddie's best pieces, La Ascensión de Remedios la Bella, which in English is The Ascension of Remedios the Beautiful. This piece is based on a character from the book 100 Years of Solitude by the Colombian author Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Most of you are probably familiar with the book, but if you're not, Remedios seems to represent a symbol of the eros inside mankind, and in a completely innocent way sort of drives all the men around her insane with desire, and one day while she's folding her laundry she just ascends up to heaven. The first 2 minutes of Eddie's piece captures that sense of ascension really beautifully. It's a study in restraint. It uses extremely subtle coloration of the orchestra, and this is actually a very good lesson for all of you who are learning about string writing, especially if you're interested in film scoring, because Eddie uses a lot of techniques that are used in modern-day film scoring. Of course, he uses harmonics and tremolo, and he also uses harmonic glissando, where the string player is just very lightly running their finger over the different harmonic nodes of the string, back and forth. Another subtle texture that Eddie uses is blowing into the wind instrument in a way that doesn't create a tone. It's just sort of like a gust of air with a very small hint of pitch to it. Now, it's not that he uses these techniques each individually, it's that he combines them in ways that are extremely imaginative. It seems like a background, and yet the texture is very powerful on your imagination. It sticks with you even though it's very subtle. When the solo instruments come in and they play very haunting melodies, they don't take anything away from this wonderful, cloudy, misty texture. Eddie's YouTube channel also has some other great compositions uploaded. For instance, there's his third string quartet. That's what I would consider to be a more modern approach to string quartet writing, and it really has some great effects and some wonderful lyricism. Also, his work Texturas, which would be, of course, textures, which is for a percussion quartet. Once again, we hear the more subtle side of Eddie Mora's writing. It has some wonderful, discrete percussion textures working together. I'm also quite fond of Eddie's concerto for saxophone and wind ensemble, performed at Cornell University. Eddie's scoring for winds is really first rate and has a lot of lessons in it for the student composer. Eddie Mora exemplifies a certain type of Latin American composer and musician that we're seeing more and more of nowadays. There is really some excellent music going on in Central America and South America, and just recently we're starting to pay attention more and more to it. For example, Gustavo Dudamel being appointed as the conductor of the LA Philharmonic. You know, that's one example there, and people are starting to pay attention to all of the stuff that he's done in Venezuela. But that's just one small bit of the picture. If you really do start paying attention, you realize that everywhere from Mexico City to Chile to Brazil, there have been fantastic orchestras and great composing. And, you know, especially like places like the Sao Paulo Symphony Orchestra, that is just an amazing orchestra, and they've done some great recordings recently. So I would say Eddie is a part of that artistic heritage, although he is definitely a unique composer and is his own man. I wouldn't say that Eddie follows any particular school, but he has made use of some of the best of modern traditions and modern techniques in his orchestration. Currently, he's the artistic director of the Municipal Symphony Orchestra of Heredia, and he's also the dean of the Faculty of Fine Arts at the University of Costa Rica. So the man knows how to compose, and he's quite an experienced educator. I think it would be safe to say that Eddie is emerging as one of the top composers of the Latin American scene. And, you know, frankly, I feel that he deserves recognition worldwide. So that's this YouTube Composer of the Month segment. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought, and stay tuned, because next month's composer is going to be just as great and is going to be from my own adopted country of New Zealand.